another episode of the Noosphere podcast. My name is Nathan, aka Mr. Mason, and joining me today is Dan, aka Little Willie.
These nuts!
And James, aka the Man Megos.
Nice to see you, nice.
Oh god, is that guy still alive?
I've got no idea. Brucey?
Oh my god, I've got to check. I'm pretty sure he's dead. If he's not dead, he needs to be.
I think you're using the wrong mic, by the way, Nathan.
I'm using my lapel mic. Oh shit, it's not even attached to me. Whoops.
No, it's not. It sounded a bit odd.
There we go.
That's better.
Yeah, old Forsyth. He's no, it doesn't say dead. Fucking hell, man. Oh yes,
Isn't his last?
yes, he died.
His last
He
is about
died.
22
He
as
died
well.
2017. Never mind. He's
Oh.
dead. Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway. Today,
Warhammer.
yeah, today we're talking new night rules and obviously our prep for the upcoming GT next weekend. Before we get into things though, you guys have had some practice games on Friday.
Yes.
How did it go?
Dan?
You want me to go first? Sure. It was interesting. Just to see how. So I'm playing. I'm taking Eldar, so Craft World Eldar to the tournament. A pure Craft World Eldar list.
Your list on the app says in
Asriani, yeah, which is pure Craft Worlds.
Ah, okay.
If it was Eldari, that kind of implies mixture of Eldar and Harlequins.
Unless you're Yanari?
Unless you're
Is that
Yanari.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I think on the app I can change to Oathway specifically if I really want to. But I don't know, are we talking through our lists later?
Nah, it's up to you. If you want, we're talking GT prep after we've gone through the night rules, so we can go through.
Yeah, sounds good. In that case, let's just start with the night stuff then and get that out of the way.
Yeah. If you want, I was just gonna start off with an intro of how your practice games went.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think I played against Tau, and it was.
It was Tau.
It's Tau. They're tanky. They're deceivingly hard to remove. I've learned a few things. I've had some advice. I made a small tweak to my list, and I'm going to try and dish out as many more wounds as possible against them. I think that's the play.
Yep. James?
Short and sweet, mate. I've learned that I'm definitely not taking GSC to the tournament because, I'll get to turn 2 and then I'll have run out of time. As diehard fans of the show know, I'm trying to learn GSC. I was going to take them to the tournament because I thought by now I'd be better. I'm clearly not. So I'm probably taking the Blood Angels list that I should know. I wouldn't say like the back of my hand, but like I can play with a lot more confidently.
And with
which
Armor
I think.
Contempt.
Yeah, I think that's fair to me and probably fairer to my opponents, like just not to put them through the thing. Otherwise, I'd just guaranteed be walking away with a wooden spoon or whatever. And my goal is to at least win one match. So now I'm sweating about Blood Angels list, but I have, and it's funny what Dan just quickly said there about Mortals. I found 2 nice little, what I think are going to be good buffs. So the first one is the Tech Marine that obviously sits with a couple of dreadnoughts that I'm thinking about putting in. He basically gives out an aura of +1 AP.
Yeah.
Which I think will actually come into play, especially
100%.
with Marine lists.
Absolutely. Is it to everything? I'm guessing it's just core, right?
It's core units within 6 inches of them.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
The 2 dreads should, and then possibly a unit of Terminators.
Leviathans aren't core.
Oh yeah, Leviathan's definitely not core.
Alright, so it might just be the Contemptor. Contemptor is, I'm sure of it.
I think Contemptor. No, I don't think Contemptor is. No, you might be right. It might be. But it's definitely not worth bringing a character in just to buff one other model.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so the Relic Contemptors are core. So if you're running 2 relics, then fine. I would bring him for the extra AP on 2 Relic Contemptors.
Which I could, yeah.
With your Volkites.
Bring a shoot you one and a combat you
want.
want.
He's not getting the buff.
If you want, if you need another Contemptor, I do have one that is painted already with Volkites.
I've got 2, mate. Thanks to Nathan now.
Okay.
Potentially, I've actually got 3. He just might have a big symbol on him that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. It doesn't
It's
matter.
a borrowed.
Honestly, this
Um,
GT is pretty relaxed when it comes to model rules.
Fair. The other thing is, I was thinking about giving two me HQs. One gets the Soul Warden, which gives you a 5 up against mauls, and
This
then
is just for the HQ.
No, it's the again. It's an aura. So Soul Warden is again 6-inch aura, I believe, for mortals, and that's units, not models. It's units within 6. And then the Litany of Protection on a chaplain does pretty much the same thing.
Nah, it's not. It's not worth getting
No.
the litany. That's a waste.
No, yeah.
The relic, maybe if you got nothing better, but I'd put it on a character that, like, maybe if you're taking a apothecary, maybe put it on the apothecary.
Yeah. Which was the relic one. But, sorry, the warlord trait for Soul Warden. And then he would have...
That's a wall. If it's a warlord trait, then you can't really take it then, because you want chief apothecary, don't you?
Chief Apothecary is not a warlord trait.
It's not, it's just a...
the chief apothecary isn't, but selfless healer is. And you want selfless healer. That's the whole point of taking chief apothecary. If you're taking an apothecary without selfless healer, I think you're doing something wrong. Unless Blood Angels have some other rules or something, because they get the weird apothecaries, don't they?
Yeah, the Sanguinary Priests.
Hang on.
It's the selfless healers that let you bring dudes back to life
Without spinning.
So, hang on. No, it's not come up as an error on Battle Scribe. So he has Stratagem, Angel Exemplar, Apothecary, Cheap Apothecary, Relics, Teeth of Terror, Warlord traits.
Why are you giving him Teeth of Terror to the medic, dude? He should not be in melee at any point.
It's a thing, or it's been a thing in Blood Angel's list, that you give your Sanguinary Priest Teeth of Terror, because he comes with a chainsword. So then he's... Well, Teeth of Terror,
if you don't have relics on other guys and there's no other good relics to take, then fine. I mean, he is weapon.
Why is it letting us give him...
plus.
This is a point, actually. Why is it letting us give him 2 Warlord traits?
Because there's a stratagem that lets you take a Warlord trait from the core Space Marines thing. And
so that'll be Stratagem Angel Exemplar. Yeah,
it's Angel Exemplar.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, go on. Right, we'll get into that after.
That's it. Yeah. So Knights, they got a bunch of rule showcases on the Warhammer community. First of them was Favor of the Dark Gods. This is so these used to be warlord traits, and now they're just favors. Except you don't unlock them until you get a kill tally. So you can give your different Chaos Knights the favor of either Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, or Undivided. However, they don't get the benefit until they kill 5, 10, or 15. It doesn't say what. It doesn't say 5 models. It doesn't say a model with 5 or more wounds. It doesn't say anything. It just says tally required for offering. War Dogs, it's 5. Abhorrence, which is your mid-range knights, it's 10. And then obviously if you Dominus size knight, the Tyrant class, is 15. The Khorne one is literally Khorne 8 target. It's literally the Khorne 8 target warlord trait.
Yeah.
Once a game, it turns off inborns in melee both for itself and its target. Which a lot of people were already taking in night lists, in Chaos Knight lists anyway. Now that this is no longer a warlord trait,
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But again, you have to kill stuff to get it.
Yeah.
Which you would want it to kill stuff with. So it's a win more.
Yeah, that's the problem, especially if you're putting it on a melee orientated knight. the catch is, you kind of do want to, you do and you don't. So it's got an extra rule where if you put it on an Abominant, which is the Psycho Knight, it can't cast psychic powers, but it does get an extra attack and +1 weapon skill. So you can turn an Abominant into a pretty hefty melee knight. But
you give up psychic powers.
But you give up psychic powers and you have to kill 10 models to get this ability.
Is this just in reference to the corn one?
Yeah.
Right.
Again,
Well,
it's
that kind
why?
of makes sense to me in a way. Well, from a lore perspective, corn hates Zinch.
It makes sense, but why would you use it? It's just so like. It's a cool rule, but at the same time, by the time you're done, by the time it kicks in, you probably either won or lost the night. So.
Okay. We'll put it into context then. So if you don't mind, Nathan, sorry to kind of hijack it, but same situation with regards to the Mark of Zinch or whatever.
Oh, hang
I'm
on a
calling
minute.
it a mark.
Stop. I was wrong. You get this benefit at the start of the game. If you reach the tally point, you get to use it twice again.
Ah.
Okay.
I've just seen it's got a favoured ability at the bottom. This model can activate its blood shield 1 additional time during the battle, and you only get the favoured ability by reaching the tally required for the favour of the Dark Gods. So you do get this at the start of the game. That changes things.
Okay, so you get to use it once, and then you get to use it again. Okay, that makes a big difference.
Yes.
Okay, that's way better. I take it all back.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's pretty good. And it's not a warlord trait. So you get this in addition to a warlord trait, which is actually pretty legit. There's no mention of whether it costs points to have the favour of a god, or if all of your knights have to draw from the same god, or anything like that.
We don't have any details.
No.
Nor do we know the psychic powers.
Yeah, exactly. The Slanesh one is in your movement phase, each time it advances or fall back until the end of your shooting phase, it counts as stationary. So you can advance and fall back and still shoot.
A better version of the Quicksilver.
Of Slanesh, yeah.
A sash or Slanesh? Was a Quicksilver throne?
Throne, yeah.
So when you're saying advance and fall back, I'm meaning you can advance and charge and fall back
No.
and still shoot.
No. Just advance, fall back, and shoot.
Why would you advance to then fall?
No, you can either advance and shoot or fall back and shoot.
Ah, sorry. Right, sorry.
Wait. Hold on. Does that mean that maybe that's for the little knights? Then I was going to say because knights usually can fall back and shoot anyway. So I wonder if they gimp to that rule.
Maybe. In your movement
Which wouldn't
phase,
make
each
sense,
time this
'cause-
model advances or falls back until the end of your shooting phase, it counts as remaining stationary.
Interesting. Again, it might be to make it work on the little knights as well, because big knights can fall back
And shoot.
fall back and shoot regardless.
And the favoured ability is it can charge after advancing or falling back. Which sounds like all the knights are losing fall back, charge, and shoot.
I don't think they could fall back and charge, but they could fall back and shoot.
So that's interesting.
This is making me think, when you're saying that you don't know if it applies to like each knight or each thing, I suspect this will be a mark per detachment.
No. It's a mark per model.
It's model. It's tied to
Every
models.
model can have a mark.
Yeah, but all models in the same detachment have to have the same mark.
No, it doesn't say that.
No?
No. It just says as long as your army is battle forged, can grant a favour of the Dark Gods to any knight in their army. That model gains the keyword associated with its patron god.
Fuck.
It makes sense. I mean,
It's the same with Chaos Space Marine Legions. You can give different marks to different units.
Yeah.
The Chaos Undivided one is basically you can't re-roll a hit roll or wound rolls or damage rolls against the model. Which is
pretty good.
Actually pretty good.
That is good. That is good.
That's quite nice. Turning off
That's
rerolls
very-
on your entire fucking army, if your entire army is Chaos Undivided marks, and not even being able to reroll damage rolls, that's hilarious.
Haha, get fucked, Tau players.
Yeah, literally, this is like, can you imagine playing against Tower Ultramarines? The fucking sadness. And then the favored ability is it's just transhuman.
Which is very
Transhuman on a fucking knight.
Transhumans to hit.
Right.
Which is still very good.
Yeah. So if you get favored on your entire army can't be hit on anything less than 4. Get fucked, Custodes players.
Not that they have a good time against the knights anyway.
No.
To be fair, get fucked nids.
Yeah.
Knights don't have a high ballistic skill, dude.
Oh, is it just against shooting?
No, it's against everything.
So close combat as well.
Yep.
So get fucked nids.
Yeah.
Knights don't
'Cause
hit
all the
on
big-
2-up.
Some of them do. Some of the big green.
Oh yeah, the big
fucking Swarm Lord and shit like that. Which is what you want to. If you're a nid player, you're not going to put all your little gribblies into a fucking knight, are you?
I don't know.
True.
If it's only got shooting, I'd probably put Grubblies into a big knight and watch them squirm because the stompy feet are gone. Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, we kind of knew that from when the Eldar Knight.
Yeah, we do actually know 2 of the psychic powers for the Abominant.
Oh yeah.
The first one, there's 6, I believe, total. The first one is Warp Charge of 6. And it is, until your next psychic phase, the Abominant gets a 5-up Feel No Pain.
That's huge.
And if the psychic test is 8 or more, all war dogs within 6 inches get a 6-up Feel No Pain.
Oh my god. What's the warp charge value?
6, but obviously it's got to be an 8 to give that 6-inch aura to war dogs.
That's still pretty fucking good.
That is pretty nice. Especially if there's ways to, because it doesn't say an unmodified psychic test of 8 or more. So if there's a way to give the Abominant a way, like a better cast, perhaps that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, Feel No Pain
for sure.
against
Feel
these
No
models,
Pain is so good.
absolutely great. The other psychic ability is Spite Squall. Warp Charge 6. Enemy within 18 inches doesn't have to be visible. Just says within 18 inches. Can't fire Overwatch or set to defend, so it's basically the same as Terrify. And keep a Spite Squall tally for that. Oh, here we go. Keep a tally for that unit that you target. Add 1 to the tally each time a model in that unit is destroyed. At the end of each phase, if that unit is still on the battlefield, roll 1d6 for each mark in the tally. For every 5+, it suffers a mortal wound. The tally is reset to 0 at the end of each It's just a fucking stupid. It's not even good. So you've got to do it to a unit. You've then got to kill models in that unit. And then after you've killed models, if you haven't killed it, it gets a bunch of marks on it. And you roll 5-ups to do 1 mortal wound, and then at the end of the phase, it resets to 0 anyway.
Is this for kills for the tally?
Yeah.
For the mark?
No,
this is the psychic
power. This is the psychic power.
This is just the psychic mark, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Go back a second though. What was Nurgle and because we did Corn, we did Undivided, and we did Zinc.
We don't know.
Oh, we don't know, do we not? All right, okay, fair enough. Well, Nurgle's going to be fucking resilience or save, isn't
Honestly,
it?
if they make it, I think the Nurgle one will be like add 1 toughness.
Yeah.
Because that
was 9 long.
Because that was a warlord trait in the current Chaos book, isn't it?
And the Slaneshi one will be like +1 attack or something.
No. I don't think there's
Mhm.
one that adds 1 toughness. Pretty sure there isn't one that adds 1 toughness.
Really?
Unless I'm horribly mistaken.
Well, it is fair to say that if it's a Nurgle one, it's going to be some kind of resilience buff. So it's either going to be toughness or save.
No, it won't be save.
Or
It'll be like feel no
or
pain
some
or
kind of
extra wounds or something like
yeah,
that.
some kind of protection.
Yeah.
And like I say, Slanesh will be something like +1 to hit or wound or
You have the ones that gives them extra wounds,
Yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
but definitely not extra toughness.
Fair enough. There is also. We do know the Zinc Mark. So the only one we don't know is Nurgle. So the Zinc Mark is, if this model is a Might Abominant, which is the Psyker, it gains the Psyker keyword. Oh, sorry, if this model is not a Knight Abominant, it gets the Psyker keyword. It can attempt to manifest one and deny one in your psychic phase. It knows Smite and 1 power from the Warp Storm discipline. If it's an Abominant, it knows an additional psychic power, and it can manifest an additional psychic power as well. The favored ability is pretty fucking nice. It's you can reroll psychic tests,
Solid.
which is pretty nice. So if there is a warlord trait in a relic that makes your psychic test is better, or whatever, then an Abominant with the favor of Zinch, with that 5-up feel no pain with 6-inch aura, it's a pretty safe bet.
so we know Zinch, we know Khorne, and we know Undivided.
Yeah, it's just Nurgle we don't know.
And Slanesh.
The Imperial Knights have a similar system. Honor, glory, and honor.
For your honor.
Yeah,
Glory.
it's if you start off as Dishonored, a very good, game by Arcane Studios. If you fulfill various pledges, you get honor points. One of them is these. I'm not a fan of these rules, not gonna lie. So one of these pledges, what the fuck you want to call them, to get yourself honor points, is refuse no challenge. At the end of each battle round, if 2 or more enemy units have been destroyed by melee attacks made by Imperial Knights units from your army during that battle round, then you gain 1 honor point. However, if any of your knights fell back, you lose an honor point.
Lose 1, yeah.
Not a fan of losing honor points, if I'm honest. Not a fan of gaining points and then losing them in a game at all in any.
No honor, no bitches.
Yeah. One of the honored abilities is called Noble Display. Each time it makes a melee attacker, if it was charged, or performed a heroic intervention, gets +1 to hit. And the Virtuous ability is you can reroll advanced and charge rolls for this model. That's if you get an honor point tally of 5 to 6 for that second part of the ability. Another one of the oaths is if at the end of your turn you control more objective markers than your opponent, then you gain honor. If you control less, you lose 1 honor. It's just fucking bad, dude. It's just bad. And then the honored ability and virtuous ability for those is at the start of your command phase, you get 1 additional command point. So you get 2 at the start of the command phase. And the virtuous ability is if the model has OBSEC, it gains OBSEC, and if it's already got OBSEC, it counts as 3 additional models, which knights are probably going to need. But honestly, the whole honor system just screams feel bad. You're going to try so hard to get honor points, and when you finally get somewhere, you're going to be put in a shitty position with your 2 models on the battlefield, where you're going to have to do shit that removes those points, and it's going to feel bad because you're going to lose half your abilities. The Chaos
And
one
instead of
doesn't.
saying
The Chaos one doesn't lose anything.
no,
You
but
just get a tally, and once you hit that tally, bam, you get it. You don't lose it.
And the Imperials don't get psychic powers; they get nightly teachings.
What's that?
Teach me, Daddy.
What's that? Okay, right. So I'll read verbatim. While a terrifying new Knight Abominance wields blasphemous psychic powers, the Imperial Knights honour their wisdom of the household's most grizzled veterans. These knightly teachings offer a range of abilities that can inspire even lesser knights to prove their worth on the battlefield.
Okay, so they've got chaplains. They've literally got chaplains. Okay. If this teaching is inspiring, yes, so it's a chaplain.
Yeah.
Select one Omega within 12. It can perform an action and move and shoot without failing. That's cool. Moving and shooting while doing actions. Wait, Armigers can do actions
have
now?
something. Armigers have the mentor keyword. It's a command phase thing. So you roll a d6 and on a 3+. The teaching was inspiring enough to light the fire of the souls of the Armigers.
Hang on a fucking minute. Hang on. What fucking actions are Armigers doing?
I'm guessing they must have rules then for like so they can count as 5 or whatever. They must have rules so they can do stuff like
rod
and whatnot.
Banners.
Yeah. Makes sense for them to raise banners and shit, right?
I guess. But would you without this?
They need it, dude, because otherwise they literally can take like. I know. 3 fucking seconds.
Without this folly of mercy, the teaching, the chaplain litany thing that lets them move and shoot and do the action, no one's going to want to use a fucking Armiger to do an action, surely. That's a lot of points.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
That's gonna unless maybe their codex will give them a bunch of secondaries that has actions. Maybe they'll get some interesting secondaries.
In the community article, the basic you can give Armigers exploding 6s. So each roll of unmodified hit roll of 6 is 1 additional hit.
Okay.
What's the pledge? Not this others. If the teaching's inspiring, the Warrior's Hope. I was going to say, so you can give your Armiger class the oath, but it does not gain the oath's pledge or troth.
If this teaching
is inspiring, yeah, go on, read it.
Select one oath.
Because I was about to do the same thing.
Active. That oath is active. Oh my god! So those oaths I talked about before, the ones that give you honor and make you lose honor if you do stupid shit, you can only pick one a turn.
Excellent.
And then, okay. So basically, what this one does is it lets you go back and select a different oath for your Armiger to do, but it doesn't gain the what? That oath is active for that Armiger. It gains all the chivalric abilities from your army's level of honor, but it can't gain or lose honor itself. Okay, I understand this now. So you're on turn 3. You've picked 2 pledges and you've picked a 3rd pledge so far. You've probably got 2 pledges left to choose from. You use this litany to give one of those 2 remaining pledges that you haven't picked from yet to one of your Armigers. That Armiger can then gain the benefit of that pledge, so the virtue and the fancy if provided your honor level's high enough, but it can't increase your honor level or decrease your honor level by completing the requirements for that oath. So it basically just buffs an Armiger, provided you've got sufficient honor to activate its virtues. Man, that's fucking complicated.
I absolutely love the little bit blurb below that, and then you know how they do the asterisk thing on the community profiles.
Yeah, because they're cunts.
So So while reciting this inspiration in lesson, the Mentor's encouraging aura causes nearby Armiger class ability to land extra strikes on all hit rolls of 6. This potent benefit synergizes wonderfully with the newly upgraded Reaper chain cleavers, giving your squires 8 hit rolls with a sweep profile and up to 16 total hits. ***. Admittedly, the odds are 0.0000595374. Still, it's going to happen sometimes.
No, they're just cunts. They're just like, oh, we're gonna lie in this article because it sounds really cool, but actually it won't ever happen because we're full of shit.
Oh well, I'm a dope for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I hope the
fucking
math. I hope the math is correct, and it really is 0.00000593.
They probably made that up as well. It's probably complete bollocks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nath, you're the resident math hammer.
I don't even care enough to check. I don't believe anything community says. They're full of shit.
Salt pills are taken.
Yeah. The chainsaw sweep and strike profile are buffed slightly.
Mm-hmm.
The on the big knights, obviously the little knights already had a strike and sweep, but the big knights it's strength 14 minus 4 flat 6 instead of strength 14 minus 3 flat 6, so it's an extra pip of AP. And they now have a sweep attack that gives them 3 hits instead of
the sweep replaces the stomps.
8 minus 3 flat 2.
How many attacks are you doing with the sweep? How many?
Be 12 to 15.
Yeah.
12.
Well, depends on the knight, because some of the knights have more attacks.
Yeah, some of them, the pure melee ones have an extra attack.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, again, my head's just going into if knights are going to face Tyranid swarms.
Yeah.
Like, how many potential attacks can you get?
The laser destructor gives me mild hope. Mild. I'm not saying above average. I'm saying probably below average hope that the volcano cannon is going to get buffed on the Baneblade, because the laser destructor is now 2 shots, strength 14, AP minus 5, D3 plus 3, D3 plus 6. Sorry. But
3 plus 6.
But they took away its mortal wound thing.
Yeah.
So it used to be if you roll a wound roll of 6, it does D3 mortal wounds in addition. Now it's just D3 plus 6. So they took away the old mortals from the poor bastard after they gave all the mortal wounds to everybody else.
Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Baneblades are never be good, Nathan. Stop lying to yourself. Just accept.
I want to
defeat.
run my Shadow Sword, and I want it to ignore invulns.
No.
I want to be the rail cannon that everyone complains about before the rules are ever launched. And then when it's actually launched, it's a piece of shit, but I'm going to run it anyway. And I'm gonna...
Hey man, you wait. If knights are good, everyone's going to be running 3 of those fucking tanks.
Really?
In Tau? Absolutely.
What's the base save at 9?
Doesn't matter if you ignore the fucking... The railgun's like AP 5, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
So you ain't getting a
You
save.
ain't getting a save, no.
You're going to get fucking fingered. Those.
Fingered.
I'll be honest, Dan, you're halfway there. I don't think the fucking Imperial Knights are going to be a problem. I think it's going to be the Chaos Knights that the town would want to run the railgun.
Speaking of community being cunts, did you see the article about
Speaking
that
of
random
being
fucking Baneblade?
Oh, the what? No, the one that made it out of my scenery. Yes.
Yeah,
Fucking
they converted
really.
a Baneblade and made it out of the new scenery kit, that stupid radar dish scenery box thing.
It wasn't the radar dish. It was the fucking. It was the main.
It's the shitty building, the little fucking long.
Yeah, no, it's
hexagon
not. It's the
building.
main. It's the biggest building that they do. The one that the other two can sit on top of. You can stack it.
Yeah.
The landing pad thing.
Yeah. And
Like,
they did a whole article on this guy.
Oh, aye, because it's why I. Of course, they
putting a
would.
building
'Cause
on a Baneblade.
The daft twat spent 90 quid on a Baneblade and then another 120 quid on the set and then
120
decided to
quid?
Well, that's how much
Fucking
the big set is for the complete
Shit,
set. I'm sure it's
okay.
122 seconds.
Yeah, it's a volcano cannon. It's a Shadow Sword. And
So what? A Baneblade's now about 90 quid.
he's kind of played himself because he's just made the Baneblade easier to hit because he's increased the vertical profile by an inch.
Yeah.
Not that you are hiding a Baneblade anyway, but
Well, don't get.
It's nice to dream, man.
Yeah. I mean, that just screams to me I've got more money than sense. Like, do you know what I mean?
And they didn't.
I mean, a lot of people that do cool conversions always end up like that anyway. Conversions end up costing more than the baseline model.
Yeah.
So.
It just seemed really odd to put a building on a Baneblade.
I mean, if I was gonna spend that kind of money on scenery kits and Baneblades, I'd build the old, the epic thing where it's got the huge demolisher cannon. It's like a cathedral on Baneblade tracks.
Yeah.
Like, you do something like that. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like my Baneblade just looks a bit different and is slightly larger from everybody else's Baneblade. I mean, no disrespect to the dude. Fair play to him. He's done it, he's got himself featured on the community. I'm sure, like, his ego's inflated by 200%. But, like, for me, like I say, if I was going to do something like that, I'd do something that kind of justifies the investment. So if you're going to mod something and make it, like, mental.
I mean,
£135 for that kit.
135 is it? I knew I was close with 120.
Holy shit.
Aren't you pleased I built all that new terrain?
Have you seen the terrain from GameMat.eu? You get like twice as much terrain, and it's like 80 quid.
Yeah.
Bananas. Absolutely bananas.
I tell you what I do have, what I've been looking at. I've genuinely got a remote control tank that I got from my grandfather, and it's about, I want to say it's about 16 inches long.
Wow, that's pretty big, dude.
8 inches high and about 7 inches wide. And it's functioning, it works, it shoots BB bullets. And I really want to stick a cathedral around it.
I mean,
standing?
Use it as a standing Baneblade, it'd probably do just as much damage with its fucking
Mate,
BB guns.
Right, if I put my Baneblade next to it, right? So to put it into context actually for someone, right? I've got a Baneblade. If I put my Baneblade sideways, that's about the width. And then it's about 2.5 Baneblades wide and about another half a Baneblade high. He's a big boy.
Yeah. Speaking of big boys, did you see the fucking Horus Heresy Land Raider that's definitely not a Land Raider? The Spartan.
Plastic one.
Yeah, the Spartan.
We made a new Land Raider that no one's gonna fucking field because they died to everything.
Not anymore.
It's funny because on the official Facebook thing, I'll put a question mark next to it saying, now that you've confirmed Primaris were actually around in the Heresy, does this mean it can transport Primaris Marines? I didn't get a response back.
Yeah. That's the of course, that's the other funny thing. Land Raiders are completely useless because they can't transport Primaris. Can transport Custodes though. How's that work?
Exactly. In Alaris.
Confirmed Custodes are short kings.
Yeah, they're literally worse than Primaris. Confirmed. Game to Workshop's own rules.
Honestly, I mean, I can understand you can't stick a Primaris Marine in a Rhino.
Because he's
too tall. Because he's too tall. Fair enough. But then again, you can fit fucking 6 Ogrins in a Chimera.
They're not that much fucking taller than a normal Space Marine.
They're not that much taller than
rules. Honestly, they should.
They're not that much taller than an Ogren.
They should never have said ever at any point said, oh, you know what, you can't put Primaris in non-Primaris transports.
Yeah, but how else are you gonna sell the Primaris specific
piece of shit? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I could justify it. I could, in my mind, I could genuinely justify it if I said they can't fit in Rhinos.
Do you know
Fair
how many fucking Land Raiders there are in the wild?
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That was me. But Land Raiders, you should be able to put at least 5 Primaris Marines in a fucking Land Raider. Like you should be able to put 5 Primaris Marines in the... Oh, what's the flying Land Raider?
The flying Land Raider? What?
The Storm Raven, or whatever the
Yes,
fuck it's
Dan knows what I'm on about. Is it the fucking hell, man?
It's just called a Storm Raven, isn't it?
Yeah, Storm Raven, that's right.
Yeah, it's got a Storm Raven, yeah. The
Yeah,
big
that
fuck off
transfer.
box with wings.
Yeah, that can transport fucking assault pack Marines and Terminators and what have you.
Yeah,
so
the,
that should
the
be able
Custodes
to
Land Raider can transport 5 Custodes. And
What, box standard or Terminators?
that includes Terminators.
So it can either do 5 Terminators or 5 standard Custodes.
Yep.
Because that makes sense.
It just says Shield Host Infantry, and it gives you a list of everything.
Yeah, well, fuck you,
Yeah.
Primary.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Their asses are different shapes,
Yeah.
so they can't sit
They're
in
built
the
different.
chest.
Their
They're
ass is
built-
so fat when they sit down, they're 3 feet taller.
Is
From a legal standing, right? Like, not from a legal standing, sorry. From a financial standing.
from a legal standing. It's
Yeah,
illegal.
Illegal, yeah.
It's illegal.
To enter.
No, well, to be
They're
fair, legal,
asbos.
legal and financial, as far as GW are concerned, are pretty much the same thing. But no, seriously, from a financial standing, like they have what, at least off the top of my head, 1, 2. They've got 3 different plastic versions of a Land Raider. So they've got the Chaos Land Raider, the Bog Standard Land Raider, and then they've got the Land Raider that does the Crusader or Redeemer. You've then got the Forge World ones, which there's about another 6 of. Like, why? Like they say, fucking Land Raider sales must have dived off the edge of a cliff since the start of this edition. Like, they must be looking there
This
thinking,
edition?
Dude, they were
This
useless
edition?
last edition.
Exactly. Well, yeah. They must look at it and think, well, how could we bump up the sales on Land Raiders? I know. Let them transport Primaris that gone through the roof.
I don't think they
Why
would.
would they?
Why would anyone use
I don't think
transport?
they give shit. Yeah.
Also,
Dude,
do you want to know something funny?
One person would buy a Land Raider. Therefore, their sales would increase by 100%.
Yeah.
They would actually increase by infinite
Yeah.
because 0 is not a valid base.
The cool thing is the Custodes Land Raider, exactly the same points as a Space Marine Land Raider. It has Leadership 11 over the Space Marines Leadership 9. Get fucked, Space Marines.
Oh, woohoo, well
Your
done.
Land Raiders aren't as fearless as ours.
Yes, but for some reason, the Praetorians of fucking Terror, or like, you know what I mean, the big fucking Chads of Terror, can only have 1 variant of Land Raider. Marines get 3.
This is true.
Yeah, but they got the best Land Raider, the most fearless one, and that's what.
What, the original with fucking 4 las cannons?
Yeah.
I think that was just we can't be fucked to make a new model for them. So here, have a Land Raider's big enough for you, right? There you go. Fuck off.
Actually, no, there isn't. There is also another variant, the one that they put into fucking Legends, isn't there? The one with the grav cannon on the front.
You fucking what?
They released a special edition Land Raider that you can only buy from Games Workshop HQ, and it had instead of the heavy bolter, it had a grav cannon on the front.
OP busted, banned in every tournament.
On it. And what did it
It's
have?
probably on the Legends thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It got demoted to Legends. It was ridiculous. I think it was. Wasn't assault cannons? It might have been melters actually.
Are you talking
like
about
the-
the Land Raider Achilles?
No, the Achilles. No, the Achilles is the Forge World one that's got the multi melters on the side and the fucking thingy cannon on the front. What the Tech Marine normally has, the Thunderfire cannon on the front.
Yeah.
No.
How the fuck did we get onto
Land Raiders? I know.
Anyway, we need to
Go on,
talk about
move
GT
on.
prep. We've had enough about Chaos Knights and stupid articles. James, how are you preparing for the GT? You've got 5 minutes.
Like I say, I
Suicide.
basically scrapped the Gene Stealers. I'm looking at the Blood Angels.
Melt them down.
What,
Melt
my
the
Blood
Gene
Angels
Stealers
melt them down?
and recast them into Vanguard veterans or
Fuck
Blood
off.
Angels
No.
Terminators.
I spent far too much money. And I refuse to let these ones go. I do want to learn GSC, even if they're going to be shit.
I don't think they're shit. They're not shit. They're a
They're
perfectly
not,
good
but
army.
I think
They just require
think
a
like-
fuck ton of practice and a very large memory for rules.
which I don't have.
You'll get it eventually. You will get it eventually.
Mm. So yeah, so I'm looking at the Blood Angels list now. Possibly going to be focused around two. I might drop the Leviathan now.
I
Two
wouldn't bring the
Contemptors.
Leviathan, if I'm honest.
No, he's a cool model. I know. I just want to bring him for the real cool.
I don't
might
know. I
actually-
think you might be surprised. I think the Leviathan's going to put in some work.
Does it have
The
the keyword?
it's got a 4-up invul.
Ooh, I thought they got
Keep
rid
that
of
in
that.
mind. No way they got rid of
One
that.
second,
Hold
let
on,
me
hold the
look.
fuck.
Let me double check. I'm
Blood
looking at me.
I know they lost their toughness 8.
Leviathan Dreadnought.
So 2-up
Hmm.
save, 5-up invul, not a 4-up.
Oh, 5. It's still a
2-up
2-up,
save.
5-up.
That is
Armor of Contempt.
D7, 14
And
wounds.
-1 damage. 40
Alright.
wounds.
Okay.
And do you know what I'm
thick.
Do you know what
He's
I'm
gonna be hard
genuinely
to
thinking
keep
as
up.
well? Running 2 Grav Flux Bombards because it's heavy 2d3.
8 minus 3 plus
Strength.
2.
Yeah,
8 minus
Graph
3
Flux.
flat 2. And if you've got a save of 3 plus or better, it's
Flat 3 damage.
it's flat 3 damage.
Well, that fucking plows through Custodes, doesn't it?
Guess
And
what?
it would
I
also-
have 2 Graph Flux Bombards.
That
would
that
also-
plows through Custodes, that plows through any Space Marines, including Gravis
And Grey Knight,
and Grey
and Grey
Knights.
Knight. Which is why I go back to thinking about having mortal wounds thing, because you need to try and keep him alive for as long as possible. And like, to be fair, I think you've got to bear in mind that potentially I can give him, so on his shots he becomes AP minus 4 because of that Storm of Fire thing. So Marines, he's strength 8, AP minus 4, 3 damage.
What's this Storm of Fire?
Storm of Fire is a warlord trait, and it basically means anything within a 6-inch bubble
Anything?
has anything.
Are you
Well,
sure?
core. Oh no, it's core, bastard. Yeah, it's core, so it wouldn't apply to him.
Honestly, don't overthink the Leviathan Dreadnought.
No.
The more like investment you have in it, the worse it gets.
The thing is,
because
the Gravflux Bombards don't cost anything.
Yeah, they're free.
no, that just take it to Gravflux Bombards. Honestly, I think he's going to do great for you. If the enemy chooses to focus on it,
Then they're an idiot.
okay,
Then,
that's fine.
They're not
there only
focusing
what,
on they're not focusing on the Vanguard vets,
Yeah.
10-man
Yeah.
Vanguard vet squad, and they're not focusing on Sanguinary Guard.
The only downside
Which is
is
why-
it's only 24-inch range, but he has movement of 8. So it's got a threat
thing's-
range of 32 inches.
So again, I doubt that half of the things are listening, but so my theory is that the 2 dreadnoughts, the Tech Marine, and possibly one of the Terminator squads who would deep strike in after turn 1 would hold the middle. And then I've got me outflank units and me deep strike units in the system. Combat squad, the Vanguard veteran squad down to 2 squads. And I've got my Sanguinary Guard squad that can
I'll
move.
give you a tip. If the
Go
it
on
doesn't matter if the mission has 5 or 6 objectives, you do not give a shit about
I want to hold the mid.
the other 2 objectives or 3 objectives.
No, because I want to hold the middle for Oath.
You want to hold your own objective, you want to hold
Yeah.
the middle for Oath, and one
Yep.
of the sides.
Yep.
As long as you do
So-
that and you keep up and you maybe shoot your opponent off of one of their objectives, that's all you really
Assault
need
them
to
off the
do.
other. Yeah. Well, that's nice because that actually does plan in with me game plan. So the fact that I've got 2.
Also, I'll give you a tip. Don't
Go on.
charge in Dick first turn 1.
It's probably the biggest tip for you, dude.
Please
is
do
Yeah,
not
chill the
charge
fuck
in
out.
Dick.
Wait
For
till
the
turn,
first
no,
turn,
wait till turn 3.
all you're gonna do first turn is if you go first, you're gonna do nothing.
You
You're
just
gonna
get into position.
you're
Get
gonna
into
hide behind
position
cover.
behind cover.
If you are going to move, the only time you should move is into more cover. And if you go second, then you're probably going to move a little bit more, but still not that much. You're just going to move into cover. You're going to wait until turn 3, until you hit that assault doctrine.
No, turn 2.
No, turn 3. Because
I wouldn't
turn
wait
3.
till you need to do something.
Yeah. You've got to do something turn 2. Yeah, I'm just saying, just don't do anything turn 1.
Yeah. But I can stay in the Devastator doctrine until turn 2, can't I?
You don't care about Devastator.
You don't care about Devastator.
I do.
You do not want to delay your assault doctrine past turn 3. You do not want to do that.
You don't. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna tell me my dreadnoughts need. You don't. If there's one dreadnought that can shoot, right?
Yeah.
On turn 1, that's fine. On turn 2, if one of them wants to go big dick, use the stratagem and put him into that doctrine. But don't play around like.
Don't play around your dreads because they're not holding objectives, and they're not taking objectives either.
Hang on, because I can give a relic to the Tech Marine that gives him and the Terminators and the Contemptor obsec.
But you don't need to.
So I'm holding the middle. I've got obsec on that. Me fast units have got Sanguinary Priests, which can use Blood Chalice and put them in the Assault Doctrine.
Yep.
Stay in the Devastator 1, turn 1, turn 2. Or turn 1, right? Okay, fair enough. I get what Dan's saying. That does make sense. But in theory, me 2 big hitters, the Sanguinary Guard and the Vanguard Vets, are going to have Assault Doctrine turn 1, turn 2 anyway.
You still don't want to charge turn 1.
The only time you charge turn 1 is if you play against an opponent that goes first, and they're dumb enough to push forwards without any kind of.
If your opponent charges forward 12 inches turn 1 and they go first, then charge them.
Yeah.
Punish them. But if they don't, if they're like shooty army and they're just kind of like floating back, there's no point in charging turn 1 at all.
Another thing I need to remember as well, and it just pinged into me head actually. Just you guys pointed out the fact that the doctrines take place in the opponent's phase as well.
Yeah.
Where I used to think I would have to wait. So if they go first,
you still go into Devastator Doctrine, yeah.
No, I'm saying that, they go first. I'm still in Devas. No, but it makes more sense because if they go first in turn 3, I'm actually in the Assault Doctrine. Because by turn 3, they're usually assaulting me.
Yeah.
Which gives me all my buffs, and I always forget. Yeah, which I forget, but I do normally forget that. So, but to be fair, Tau. So that's one thing I did learn from Andy. Tau can play. I was expecting Andy just to sit back Tau gunline, but Andy was his list.
No,
was very maneuverable.
Yeah, he takes engage.
They're very mobile.
Yeah.
They're
very mobile and still very aggressive. Yes, I understand they're not going to be charging you, but they are still going to be up in your face.
Yeah, and they'll blast your unit to pieces.
Yeah, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting them to sit back for a couple of turns and then move up, and then like by the time they'd blasted you to bits and like you had nothing left, then they would start.
The cold start can come down anywhere and then fuck off anywhere. The crew usually are going straight for the relays on the sides. He'll bring a crisis team in from deep strike wherever he can, which is why you should always screen your backfield. Otherwise, he's going to take your objective from you. I don't have the luxury of screening his custodies, so I have to let him do that pretty much.
Another thing about Tau.
One last question, if you don't mind, and then we can move on to someone else's list, Dan. Is that all right?
Yeah, of course, mate.
Because I know Nathan said 5 minutes, and I've had about 10 already.
No, you've had 5.
The intercessors can obviously forward deploy.
Do you mean infiltrators?
Infiltrators, sorry, not intercessors. Yeah, infiltrators, sorry, can forward deploy. So I was thinking sticking them up the field, which should hopefully get us Oath turn 1.
You can stick it up my field any day.
So don't put your infiltrators. Don't put your infiltrators in the middle of the field. Don't put them anywhere they can be shot. Put them in cover.
No, well, that was what I was going to say. But usually the center objective will have a piece of cover either right next to it or on it.
Hang on, I'll check for you.
Looking at the tournament,
Also, keep in mind that the first mission you cannot forward deploy.
No. True.
So first mission, yes, you can deploy in the center. Second mission, you don't deploy in the center. You're going to die. You want to deploy along the center line on one of those objectives. Third mission, yes, you can deploy in the center. Fourth mission, you can deploy in the center. So if you look at the fourth mission, tear down their icons, it's the one me and Andy played today. If you measure where the walls get deployed, you can actually hold that center objective behind the L-shaped walls, because I managed to do it today. So you can deploy your infiltrators in that L-shaped ruin and hold the objective early game. Yeah. But keep in mind, it's very close to the opponent's deployment zone, so you want to try to avoid letting them get the first turn charge off. And then the same goes for round 5. So the only time you don't want to do it is missions 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But missions 3, 4, and 5, yeah, you can forward deploy.
5. Because me battle plan was that they sit there at the beginning, and then they either fade back because of their aura buff. They fade in after turn 1 towards the backfield to stop the deep strikers.
Are you
or to the flank.
Are you doing infiltrators or incursors?
Infiltrators.
So if you take an Omni Scrambler, Omni Scrambler,
that gives you the 12-inch.
Sorry.
They ignore the first damage.
Yeah, they already have Omni Scrambler built in, which is it turns off 12-inch.
To be fair, for 5 points for the Helix Gauntlet, it just ignores the first time you take damage.
Yeah.
So a smart opponent will just chuck fucking chaff at you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I kind of think I'm probably better off just relying on the fact that I try and put them either behind terrain out of sight or in terrain and get the benefits of the -1 damage and -1 AP. Not -1 damage, sorry, the -1 AP and +1 to save.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, the idea is one or both of them sit up front just to guarantee his Oath turn 1 and then fade back to the flanks or to the rear. While they're doing that, obviously the Dreads and the Tech Marine and everything just go ham and advance and get up the middle.
No.
No?
Why? You don't want to put your Dreads in the middle with Volkites. They'll just get charged.
Well, hang on. This is why the Terminators come in turn 2 and Deep Strike on the middle.
You don't want to put your Dreadnoughts in the middle of the battlefield.
You can't. You guys are planning moves on turn 2, 3, and 4 when you have no fucking idea what your opponent's gonna do. Planning like that doesn't work.
No.
You're gonna have to play that game by game, play by play. You can't.
I like. Well, I know what you're saying, but I like to have a plan, and I know the old adage is no plan survives first contact. But I still think you need to have a plan. Maybe I'm
you need to have a plan for deployment. That's about it.
Maybe this is why I lose every game, because I'm already fucking 3 turns ahead.
You're playing 5D chess when we're just trying to play checkers, bro. That's the problem.
No, ask Andy. I play fucking Connect 4. Sorry, only Nathan. Not only Nathan and long-term listeners, dedicated listeners, will understand that one. Okay, shall I just take that? Shall I just take the tank list?
No, don't do that.
No. No, that makes me sad.
Just have a look at lists online and what people are running at the moment, and sort of
Oh, yeah, but I
run your
don't like the
Volkites.
problem.
Run your Volkites because Mortal Wounds are king right now, and just
Mhm.
try not to throw everything away turn one.
I
If you
get what
lose
you're
if you
saying.
lose a quarter of your army turn one, you deployed wrong or you moved wrong.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
And at the
And
very
I get what
least,
you're
you'll
saying about
learn
looking at
from
like
turn one.
tournament lists.
You'll learn
But the
game
problem,
one if you get smashed
yeah,
not to do things.
yeah.
Anyway,
The problem with looking at tournament lists, and I do think this is for everybody, people look at tournament lists and go, "Oh, I'm going to play that list because it won a GT," and it's like, well, do you understand how the list
yeah.
works?
I think a list accounts for about 40% of wins. The other 60% is the player.
Yeah. Anyway, right, go on. Sorry,
Dan.
I'll shut up now.
Dan.
Hello.
How are you doing with
Oh.
your preparation?
I think the more I've sort of played a few more games with it, I'm quite okay with my list. I think I'm happy with it. What I played on Friday, I'm making a small tweak. So I'm getting rid of the 4-pin one on my Banshees, and a couple of downgrades on some of the weapons or side grades really. And I'm switching my Farseer to a Farseer on bike, and I'm giving him the bad boy pistol so he can fucking Glock some motherfuckers and then bounce. That's the plan. But my list, I don't know. I think it's okay. It feels pretty flexible when I've played it. I'm not very good at playing it, but I'm happy with it.
Right.
I'm
disagree,
better at
Dan.
building lists than actually playing them, because I'm easily get caught up in things and forget.
Yeah.
But my list at the moment, so I'm playing Oathway, Craft World Oathway. 2 patrol detachments. And I got Baharoth, Karandras, Eldrad Uthran, of course, who's the warlord, because he's very, very powerful as a psyker. I'm running a Farseer on bike as well. And then I have 2 warlocks, one on bike, one on foot, and they're just there to get me sort of easy psychic ritual. So the warlock on bike has the ghost helm of some dude.
Yeah.
That makes his psychic powers undeniable on a 9-up, which sounds bad. With Strands of Fate, should be relatively, like, it's a 50-50. It's not even a 50-50, it's better than 50-50. So he basically, he goes forward, casts, or does a psychic ritual, and then the other warlock has the power to allow him to move again, quicken, so he can jump in, cast, and then get quickened back into safety. And I think for 100 points, that's a pretty good play. I'm running 2 Fire Prisms, which I think everyone kind of was like, why are you doing this? Why are you playing Fire Prisms? The more I played with them, the more I like them, to be honest. The ability to ignore invuls is becoming more and more of a desirable thing, it feels like.
What's the toughness profile on a Fire Prism these days?
It's toughness 7, 12 wounds.
Okay, so it's reasonably
160 points.
okay.
And it's got either 2 big shots at strength 14, AP minus 5, 3d3 damage.
Yeah.
So when you link prisms, that goes up to 4 shots. Or 3d3 shots with blast.
Doesn't have an invuln, does it?
No, it doesn't. But how you sort of want to play and how I'm planning to play it is you just peek around the corner. So you stay in cover, peek around the corner with one of them, linked fire, blast something, and then you can use fire and fate to move it back into cover.
Okay.
I kind of feel with them, depending on your matchup, Dan, your opponent's either going to focus on them or just completely ignore them. In which case, I don't think either way that's a bad thing, because if they're focusing on them, you've got your bites and everything.
Ideally, they want to focus it because I plan to take engage on all fronts. Sorry, not engage. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
To the last. I'm planning to take 2 the last, so the 2 fire prisms and Eldred are my 2 the last targets.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Well,
it's
I think-
one of those. I mean, obviously against certain matchups,
is.
I'll probably skip on 2 the last,
Yeah.
and also depending on
Yeah.
the map. But it's because the thing is they have a long range, right? So I don't need them to. They will sit in my backfield.
And hold your backfield objective.
And they'll hold a backfield objective, or they have a big footprint, right? It's a big model,
Yeah.
so they're very good at denying deep strikes.
Deep strikes. Yeah.
So I think they have a lot of utility. And when I first played them, I was like, I'm not sure about this, Chief. But after a few games, you know what? I think they'll serve me well, especially against looking at who's playing. We got Knights. They'll punch a hole through a Knight quite easily.
Yeah.
A turn.
Yeah.
Grey Knights. I can comfortably take out one Nemesis Dread Knight a turn.
Yep.
Tyranids. Take out Griblies. The big nasties. I just feel like they got the utility.
I think the fact that it's got blast is a big thing for that. If they didn't have blast,
Blast doesn't.
Blast
doesn't matter.
meaningless.
It's
In
three
fact,
shots.
it's a negative
Yeah, it's a negative
because it means it can't shoot in melee. So you just touch it with something.
Yeah. And there's another thing that I've realized I could do, and it can come in handy. Don't know if you know, but Eldar do have an Auspex scan-like ability. And I'm pretty sure, in fact, I'm certain I can use it on the tank. So in case Tau players get a bit too antsy in their pants and decide to come down with the crisis suits, I will blast at least some of the drones off.
You know, it'd be funny.
does that work with a Cold Star
If
Commander?
none of us
jump
play
thing
against
as well?
Tau in the fucking tournament.
I think we will. There's 3 players.
I'm saying
3 Tau players so far.
Yeah.
At least. So I don't know. I'm happy with my list. I'm just looking forward to playing more games with it because I genuinely enjoy the list. I feel like it's got a bit of everything, right? I got some good melee with Karandras and Howling Banshees. I got some very good psychic. Eldar is just super strong with psychic, especially Wolfway. And I got some okay shooting. Warp Spiders are pretty fucking terrifying. I don't think Andy's played against them before.
All right.
So when they started blasting, it was like, oh god, stop, stop, man. It's like you go in, throw 6d6 shots with blast, and then you just peace out.
I'm saying Dan,
Nice.
in a hindsight kind of way, just obviously watching your game against Andy's, would that ability that you're referring to work with the Cold Star Commander's yeet thing?
No, because it doesn't come out of deep strike.
Right, okay.
It's only when stuff comes out of deep strike. So if he deep strikes him in, then yes.
Yeah.
If he just jumps across,
like he did, in the game the other night.
Yeah, I should have probably used it at that point. I think it only dawned on me later.
No, which is fair enough. Well, that's the whole point of the. That's the whole point of the prep games, isn't it?
The only thing I have at the moment is Army's quite CP intensive.
Yeah.
Luckily, Eldar are pretty good at pooping out CP.
Same with Andy. Andy blasts through CP, but destroys so much in doing so.
Yeah. No, they're Tau are terrifying. That Tau turn 2 is just.
Oh my god! I was
brutal.
After the turn 2, I was pretty much ready to throw in the fucking Tau.
Yeah, it does feel like it, and afterwards it's just
you fucking hung in there like I watched that game pretty much the whole way through.
Yeah.
I started a little late, granted, just because I was taking over for a second vaccine. But I think I came in about midway through turn 2, and like I say, like you said, it looked kind of all over, but fuck me, dude, you hung on in there.
Yeah. Turn 2, he killed a quarter of my entire army before I even had a chance to do anything.
A quarter? That's low. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. If he only killed 500 points of
It's
your army in
560
one turn,
points he killed first turn.
first turn
Not
or
first turn,
second
turn 2.
That's not bad because that's when he usually does most of his damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. Like against you, Jay, he literally pretty much tabled you almost on turn 2. Like you lost.
Yeah,
probably
dude.
more
No,
than
I'm not
1,000
gonna. No,
points.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, granted, like you said, I think GSE against Tau is probably one of the worst matchups GSE can do.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, like I tried being really sneaky. Like I thought I was on top of my game because I was remembering shit like the fact that like my big killer units can go in, and I smashed a couple of units, and then in turn, like I smashed a unit in turn 1, and then faded away back into the shadows, and then did the same thing turn 2 and faded away back into the shadows. But by the end of turn 2, because I was going first. By the end of turn 2, it was just like, I've got nothing left.
Ran out of dick.
Like, I'm fucked. Like, even though me big killer units had, like, faded away and come back, faded away and come back, and I still had, to be fair, I still had 3 units that I could have brought in next turn, but they wouldn't have done anything because all I could do at that point was kind of try and push him back, and I rolled. So I had 2 8-inch charges and 2 10-inch charges, and this is what cost. Like at the end of the start of turn 3. This is what cost us the game. So at the start of turn 3, I was like, right, okay, go for it. Right, I've got 2 10-inch charges, 2 8-inch charges. And the only reason I had 2 10-inch charges was because he used the strat
Photon
that like
grenades.
increased it by 2.
Yep.
And on the 2 10-inch charges, I rolled like 4, and on the 2 8-inch charges, I rolled like 6. And I was just like, right, so they're just gonna stand there and do fuck all this turn. Like, dude, like you're gonna blast them, it's over. And yeah, but I did learn a lot, and like I say, I am starting to feel as time goes on a little bit more confident with the GSA. I can't justify taking the tournament because,
You'll have
like
to,
I say,
when you submit your list tonight, you'll have to make sure that you get a couple of games in with people from the group before the tournament, so you know your way around your list. You know what can do what can effectively shoot what armor and actually work. For me, everyone probably saw the fucking. Well, not everyone probably didn't see the fucking game earlier. My list has changed quite a lot. The balanced data slate fucked me over, so I was forced to drop my wardens and a bunch of other stuff and bring as many troops as humanly possible. After my game last week, whenever that was, I decided I was going to run Venatari, but then at the last minute, I spoke with Andy and he was like, bring the Achilles because you need some anti-vehicle.
That's what I told you.
Yeah, all I remember you telling me is play Shadowkeepers.
Yeah, you asked me the other day. You asked me if I should go Venatari or
Achilles. Oh yeah, that was at the same time. That was at the same time I was having the same conversation with Andy.
Funnily enough, I did say last week, are you not taking Venatari?
Yeah. So basically, I decided to bring the Achilles for some anti-tank, because they've got a great anti-tank melee and they've got a couple of decent anti-tank shots. They've got really high AP, really high damage weapons on their wrists. The Sagittarum are absolute fucking champions. I'm bringing a lot of Sagittarum for the shooting. I'm bringing. I've split up my shield squad, so I'm still bringing not 15 but 14 shield guys, but split across 3
You're doing
squads.
a 5-4-5. Are you doing a 5-4-5?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still running Kyria Draxis, but I'm not very good at playing her. I make her look like a bad choice, but she's not.
No, dude, you didn't. No, you didn't. I think Andy hit the nail on the head. So when he was saying at the end of the game, when it was all over, it's where you put Kyria Draxis. No, it's not that the fact that you're running now that's a problem. It
No,
was
no,
where
no.
you were putting it.
Yeah.
And like you said, the fact that why you're running a bike captain,
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
dropping the bike, like, yeah, man, like totally made sense.
That was another thing. Was
Anyway, sorry.
just because everyone's running bike captains doesn't mean you should run a bike captain. In my list,
No.
and the new sort of custodians list with heavy infantry, I don't think there is a place for him. Yes, he's a missile. Yes, he can move fast. Yes, he's hard to kill, but he doesn't kill anything by himself. He doesn't score anything by himself because he doesn't have OBSEC, and he doesn't shoot anything by himself.
Again, I'm Shadow Keepers, but that's where he shines. I think Shadow Keepers, because you give him the
ignore invulns and
and then he is truly a missile. Like he'll go in and just delete one HQ.
So because my game plan is to basically just hold 3 objectives and ignore the rest of the board, I'm obviously running the Terminator so that he can come in and assist the center board if they get in trouble. And I've upgraded my Vexilla to an Alaris Vexilla so that he doesn't have the Storm Shield, but he's got a grenade launcher.
Got a grenade launcher.
And he gets extra attacks as well on top of the normal guy. And I'm running the Relic Vexilla, which gives an aura of 6-inch turns off light cover. So if I put him near my 9 Sagittarum, anything they shoot doesn't get the benefit of cover, which is actually really good.
It's because he's a Terminator, he's getting a 5-up invul?
No, he's got a 4-up invul, same as all Custodies. He's 2-up, 4-up, like all Custodies. He's got 6 attacks, I think, plus 1 from the Misericordia. He's obviously in Terminator armor, so he can deep strike if I want to. He's got a ballistic grenade launcher, which is like 2 shots, 5 minus 3, 1 or something. Yeah, he's just good. And it's obviously the -1 to hit aura.
It's not blast as well.
Pardon?
It has blast as well, doesn't it?
The ballistas, I'm not sure.
I've got a feeling
it's just 1 shot, isn't it?
Let me check.
It was a D3 shots, I can't remember.
They've changed it. It used to be Assault D3. It's now... Oh, it's still Assault D3.
Assault D3, is it?
5 minus 3 flat 1. Yeah. I think so I made the same mistake in my game today as I did against Drakari. I get very, if I see something I can charge, I'm like
you fall in the trap.
And I didn't do it the last game I played, but I did do it the previous game. And I just need to accept the fact that I'm probably not going to get past the halfway point, and I don't want to get past the halfway point. I just want to control my side of the board and ignore everything else.
What our lovely subscribers and viewers need to realise is Nathan's talking like he lost. He didn't. He actually won.
Yeah, I know. I did win. But I obviously Kyria Draxus died turn 2, which was a huge misplay by me because I was trying to get that interrogation turn 1, and I think I rolled 1 inch less than I needed on the advance, and I'd already moved up my shield squad a bit further forward, so she did have Lookout Sir, but unfortunately his Pathfinders could get out and advance like into her and then shoot her, so I lost her turn 2, and that meant I lost out on 15 psychic interrogation points. So it was just a huge fucking misplay on my parts. But I've figured out how I'm going to run her and how I'm going to deploy pretty much every game. It's just going to be a case of I need to be really, really, really cautious. A, where I move and how far I move, even though I can advance a shitload turn 1. And B, making sure I move her in the right places. But I still love Solar Watch because the extra inch on advances and charges has come in clutch multiple times, and there's been instances where I would not have made my advances or charges if I didn't have it. And the fallback and charge shield host trait as well was probably the only reason I won against Sisters the last time I played them. Yes, Emperor's Chosen is probably better, but I like the speed.
I don't think Emperor's Chosen is as good now.
No, not with the strat being once per game.
No, I think Shadow Keepers are top dogs now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Well,
I'll tell you what's top dog. Emissaries Imperatus. They are now the de facto choice for Custodes.
why is that?
They have army-wide fight last.
Fair.
Not fight last, sorry. Army-wide fight first, even if they didn't charge.
First, yeah.
They ignore all modifiers to hit and to wound. Completely,
Yep.
army-wide. Where is it? They have... Conservai is their Qatar of choice, which means one turn they can both advance and shoot and do an action without the action failing.
That's big.
So they can do a lot of actions, always
Advance,
fight first.
fucking hell. Hang on. Advance, shoot, and perform an action.
One of the stances is they can advance and perform an action and fall back and perform an action. And the other stance is they can perform an action and shoot. But because they, once per game, a shield host can activate its preferred martial Qatar and gain both benefits in the same turn. So when I'm playing Solar Watch, I can double roll, pick the highest, advance, and still shoot. Which is why I play Solar Watch.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I think the point was made as well. If you stick Alorus and Shield Boys together, and then you've got your Inquisitor, like, she's got free reign.
Yeah, pretty much, unless they have snipers.
Yeah.
Then it's game over for her, unless she's hiding in a building. It's tough. It's very difficult. I have a. It's not as easy a play as it sounds. It's all very it's hard, man. It's hard. When you've only got 5 fucking squads,
really hard.
When you've only got like 5 squads and you're trying to hold objectives, it's tough.
The thing is, hang on, out of the 3 of us, is anybody taking snipers?
No.
I'm not playing Harlequins.
No. Yeah.
Mm.
But there is a Harlequins player. There's another 2 Tau players, and if they take rail rifles, they can snipe.
Quick question, if you're alright. If I don't take a Psychic, I can take that Ball of the Witch, can't I?
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
you're only playing against 2 armies, where that becomes a thing.
Yeah, Eldar and Grey Knight.
Yeah. There's no Thousand Suns.
I wouldn't even try it against Elder.
No.
You're not, like, if you get to kill my Psychers, I already lost at that point anyway.
Played right.
There's
Fair enough.
absolutely no purpose in taking a Paul the Witch, especially when you know that only one army in the entire tournament is pure Psychers.
Well, 2. There's 2 Grey Knight players, isn't there?
No, there's only one, as far as I can see.
Was there? I thought it was 2.
No, just the
There's
one.
an Imperial Knight.
It's Imperial Knights. We keep getting confused.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth not having a librarian to take up Horde, to be honest. Bring the librarian, man, for that Psychic Fortress. And to deny for the Psychic Interrogations and Warp Rituals. Because people are going to be playing those secondaries. Anyway, that's it. That's all she wrote. The next time everyone will hear from us, we'll be playing GSC versus Ultramarines next Wednesday at 7 PM with our friend Bobbit. And then I might stream the game with Dan on Thursday or Friday, depending on where it is, what happens, what time it is. Be playing another GT practice match with Custodes versus Eldar. And then we'll probably, hopefully, maybe have a podcast on Sunday where we will be wrapping up what happened at the GT, how we did, if we did, and discussing our thoughts on that. I'm just looking at what time schedules we are. Yeah, so the award ceremony is at 5:30 on Sunday, so we should be back in time to do a podcast and cry.
Might be a bit late, yeah, but
yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Half an hour late, you already know now.
Yes, yeah, it'll probably run late. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone for listening in, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Well,